This is phenomenal. I'm not kidding. Bring it to the cookout, okay? We're essentially making like a plant-based version of a pulled pork sandwich. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you're here and also very excited to be sharing today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some barbecue pulled jackfruit sliders. They are absolutely delicious and I cannot wait for you to make them. They are so flavorful, saucy. We make some of the best barbecue jackfruit that you honestly will probably ever try. It is flavorful. Bring it to the cookout, okay? And we also make a delicious homemade coleslaw. When we put everything together, we add more barbecue sauce and a little pickle. Also, depending on what time you're watching this, I will be going live today. I'll be going live around 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So if you're in Central Time, 5:30 your time. If you're in Eastern Time, that would be 6:30 your time. So be sure to tune into my live. It'll be my first time going live on YouTube and I'm really excited to chat with y'all, connect with you, and then just chit chat, and I'll be answering questions, all the things. So that's what we'll be doing. These are so good and I cannot wait for you to try them. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so I wanted to start off with my coleslaw first because that's gonna take the longest to marinate. The ingredients are pretty simple. We're just using green cabbage, carrots, purple cabbage, a bit of plant-based mayo, some apple cider vinegar, Dijon mustard, a bit of maple syrup, along with some salt and black pepper. Now, if you're short on time and you just don't feel like cutting vegetables up, listen, I don't blame you. You can always just buy a bag of coleslaw mix and either add the packaged dressing or you can make your own. And in the event you want to make your own dressing, here's how I made mine. I added some vegan mayo, that apple cider vinegar. I added some Dijon mustard, the maple syrup, salt, and black pepper. And you're probably thinking, girl, if you don't get a whisk. I honestly just did not feel like dirtying another dish. So there we go. I gave this a taste test and I decided I wanted a little bit more zing zang twang, you know? So I just added a splash of apple cider vinegar and it got it right where it needed to be. Next, I added in the cabbage and carrots. Now, I didn't use all the cabbage and carrots that I cut up. I ended up using about half of it. And I also don't care too much for like an extra saucy coleslaw. So I kept things a bit light. But if you prefer more like a more saucy coleslaw, definitely double up on the ingredients that I used. And again, you can find the recipe linked in the description box. And while the coleslaw marinates, I did bring a large pot of water to boil because we need to use this for the jackfruit, which we're gonna get started on next. For this, you're gonna need canned young jackfruit in water or brine. And I typically find canned jackfruit at my local Asian market, Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, or just like another health food store like that. I also used a yellow onion, garlic cloves, and then a better than bouillon vegetable base. Now, these are the ingredients to help us get that briny taste that canned jackfruit typically has. But if you don't want to use canned jackfruit, you may be able to find some recipes out there using fresh jackfruit. I haven't tried cooking with fresh jackfruit because the canned version typically works for me. So I just, it's just based off of what your personal preference is. But I started out by draining the jackfruit. Then I removed the seeds. They're inside these little pods. And I know that some people don't mind cooking with them. And if that's you, by all means, please continue to cook the jackfruit the way that you prefer cooking it. I'm just not a fan of keeping the seeds in their pods in. So I removed them. And I have read that the seeds are edible, so if you want to include them in this recipe, you definitely can, or you can save them, roast them, and use them in another recipe. Now, we are using young green jackfruit that has a neutral flavor. There is another type of jackfruit out there that is a bit sweeter, but typically the young green jackfruit is used in most plant-based cooking because it tends to be a really good meat replacement in recipes such as these sliders. I've used it in enchiladas, nachos, and tacos. The list goes on. But whenever I do cook with canned young jackfruit in brine or water, I always let it simmer on the stove with onions as well as garlic and one of the better than bouillon sauces. I do that because the canned jackfruit I purchased came in a brine, and the taste of brine, in my opinion, is not the best. Like, I'm not a fan of it. So in order to get that taste out, I like to let it simmer with the onions, garlic, and the better than bouillon. Now, I don't let it simmer for too long because it can get very, very soft. So I just do it for about 20 minutes and then I remove it and drain drain that excess water out of it. Now this is where the magic happens. Now we're gonna cook the jackfruit on the stove. So we simmered it to get rid of that briny taste. Now we're gonna add some flavor to it. So I added down a bit of olive oil and then cooked the jackfruit just to help remove some of that excess water that was left even after we drained it. I seasoned it up with like a smoky barbecue seasoning, some smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. I added in liquid smoke as well as a vegan-friendly Worcestershire. W sauce. And then lastly, some barbecue sauce. And you can honestly stop here if you would like, but I prefer to then add the barbecue jackfruit in the oven. That helps it dry out a bit and will really just help those flavors that we cooked it on the stove with meld together a bit more. Now I did have to go back and transfer the jackfruit to a larger baking sheet because the one I previously used was just a little bit too small. So if you do this, either split it in half or just use a large baking sheet altogether. Okay, so I prepped all of that ahead. Now we're about to enjoy it. I'm gonna show you how I like to assemble it and then we're gonna dig in. I'm so excited because I know this is gonna be delicious. So here is the slaw that we made and it is so beautiful. Get into the color, so beautiful. And then I also have these pretzel buns that I'm gonna use and I picked these up from Whole Foods. We're just going to cut these open because I want to toast them before I enjoy. So right now the jackfruit is in the oven reheating. I'm about to toast this. And the only other thing we're adding to the sliders are pickles. We have our barbecue jackfruit, our pretzel buns have been toasted, our pickles, and then our coleslaw mix. I'm so excited because now it's time to assemble. Like everything is officially done. We get to eat. I'm about to dig in. I cannot wait to try it. So I'm gonna try this one. It's super saucy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not gonna lie, I've been nibbling on the jackfruit and it's good, but I'm just excited to try everything all together. Okay, here we go. I'll take a bite, you'll take a bite. This is phenomenal. I'm not kidding. And you can't even tell that it's jackfruit. We're essentially making like a plant-based version of a pulled pork sandwich. I will not say that it tastes like pork, okay? But you can tell it's jackfruit. And I say that because, you know, jackfruit has that briny taste. And sometimes if it's not cooked right, then you can still taste the brine in the jackfruit. You can't taste it in this. Wow, these would be perfect for like a gathering. If you just wanted to meal prep it, honestly, something I am planning to do with the leftover jackfruit. Y'all know that I'm on like this protein journey and I try to add a good amount of protein to every meal. So I'm honestly planning to mix up some shredded tofu with that jackfruit and that's what I'm gonna enjoy this week. But I really hope that you give this a try. You can find the recipe linked in the description box and you can pretty much find the links to really everything in the description box. Again, you can find the recipe, you can find links to my cookware, more of my recipes, some of my must-have items, my digital cookbook, my free downloadable plant-based grocery list. So be sure to check the description box. I'm gonna go. I don't want to stuff my face on camera anymore. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next video. This right here, I'm about to have another one.